and welcome to Knobcat Games' Dungeons of the Obelisk podcast. I'm your host, Joe Sleppy. I'm Executive Prime at Knobcat Games. This podcast is our audio devlog where we get together every 2 weeks and we talk about the progress of the game that we're working on, which is Dungeons of the Obelisk, a 2D turn-based dungeon-crawling loot-grinding adventure. And I am joined today by our digital alchemist, TJ Yadacernia.
Hello.
And I guess it's just the two of us today. I don't know. It's going to be maybe more of a free-form podcast. We don't have a lot of stuff on the list, but we were just talking for like an hour before we started and realized we should have been recording. But the big news, I guess, in our progress is that you put out the newest build of the game for us to test, and that has logging in. You know, I made my first DotO account 2 days ago.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad to start testing it with the actual server version of things running on it. I don't know, it's different to have to log in every single time, because I guess at least for me, it slows me down a bit, because I gotta log in to even play the game now.
There should probably be the option where you have the little checkbox and it says remember me.
I guess you don't have to type it in over and over.
Yeah, we definitely want to have that, I think, if that's an option, if that's possible.
It should be. It's getting kind of tedious to, type in like your email and your password. Log in, test something for like 5 minutes, log back out, do it again.
Yeah, on the daily report where it shows logins, it's definitely increasing, I've noticed.
Yeah, I think I contribute to a large portion of it.
For sure. Yeah, we should probably add that to the list, though, for, I don't know if you have a spot where we can throw that on, but we definitely want the remember me checkbox. Because I think this is the kind of game where players log in and out a lot. You know, you get in, you run a couple dungeons, you leave, wait for your energy to refill, you hop back on, you're maybe like playing it while you're supposed to be doing work or something on the other monitor.
Supposed to be doing work.
Yeah.
You bring up a good point there. It is I feel like it's something where you would kind of bounce in and out pretty consistently.
Yeah, even I know I'm not like taking up server space or anything, I still like end up closing the game so it's not just like open on my other monitor.
I'd be one of those lingering players in the server that just stands in the center of town for hours.
Yeah, I mean, you probably do want to do that though. Like, you get your cool supporter pack slime gear, and then you want to show it off by hanging out in town, right?
All the players are walking by like, oh, look at that guy. That's some style and armor he's got.
Wonder where I can buy that.
Yeah, friends are pretty good at doing that. Well, they'll log on to the game, and I don't even know what they do. They log on, they disappear. They didn't even start playing. They got on and instinctively go do something else.
Yeah, hopefully our logging in doesn't take too much time. It seems to be pretty quick right now.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if processing that inventory takes time. You get stuck on a loading screen because it's trying to figure out that you own 200 different items.
Yeah, we might have to think about, I don't know, maybe we need to think about how items are generated and drop rates and stuff, because maybe we could reduce the inventory size a little bit and then make less items spawn, but have good items spawn more often.
As long as if the rarity, not rarity, but the commonness of high rarity went up, I could see that working.
Yeah, so instead of by the time you're level 10, most battles have 8 enemies, I think. So you have a chance at 8 different items. But if some of those items spawned as crafting materials, they would take up less inventory space as well.
Yeah, that's true. Especially since I don't think a player is going to keep the trash gear anyways. I would hope they're not piling up those helmets.
Yeah. We could even consider something where it works a little bit differently until you hit level 10. Maybe you do get more of those lower rarity items you need, but then once you hit level 10, then maybe they spawn less often and you just get the crafting material instead. That's definitely something we could look into if we think we need to, save some inventory space.
I know In terms of like making lives easier for the player, one of the things I like is when you reach a certain point and then the game knows you don't need this junk anymore, so it auto scraps the gear.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that too. I think maybe like in the breaches, it could auto scrap like trash and uncommon.
Yeah, because if you load into that, and if you're killing stuff with that, there's no way you need the trash gear at that point.
Right. You just want the crafting material, maybe. You probably don't even need the crafting material because we don't have anything that uses that lower rarity stuff once you get into the higher rarity anyways, but we probably should come up with some kind of sync for that kind of stuff.
I think players like to get the material just because they like to see loot.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, I don't need it, but I got it.
No, it's nice to stack up those items too. Like, if you're stacking up, even if it's just like gray dust, like the lowest tier crafting material, it's still nice to have a pile of 1 million of it, and then if there does become a use for it, then you have it.
Add like a upward conversion system, 10 dust for 1 metal shard? That's what it's called?
A metal chunk. I had to go look. And then an azure core, and then an amber shards. Yeah, that's something I don't want to do right away, but once we see how the economy works with people actually playing and how much everybody ends up with of each thing, then I think we could figure out things you could use that stuff for.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a usage for even the old materials that don't do a whole lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have on our notes we could talk about the to-do list and what we're going to be getting into next as far as I don't know, I guess I'm hesitant to say it, but the game itself is very close to done, and we're really just working on this server stuff now. So our kind of to-do list is getting it so that you can talk to other players, see other players in town, in-app purchases, that kind of stuff. Like everything that works with the server, still has to work other than you've got items saving.
Yeah, because as it stands, it's like, really, it's almost done. The server stuff, finally got the inventory to start to save itself to the server, which was a lot of intensive work because of how complex our loot system is comparison to how much the server is willing to save.
Yeah.
But gotta really start thinking about how to get like a friends list going, how to see other people, talk to other people, add like the full chat system.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, right now we're hoping that that's not too difficult to do because PlayFab, which is the system that we're using, the ecosystem, I guess, for all the server stuff, it has like the built-in chat functionality. So I'm hoping that it just is like a matter of you like skinning what they provide so that it looks right in our game.
Basically take their chat system, toss it in, give it our font, make it look nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. It's probably not that easy, but maybe.
I wonder how bad the censorship, I guess is the term for it, the censorship system for the text is going to be.
Oh yeah, like I feel like there's a different word for that, but like the profanity filter, yeah. I guess.
It's the profanity filter.
Surely if they have a chat, if they have functionality for chat, surely there's a profanity filter built into it as well.
I would hope so.
Yeah, even if you have to come up with the words yourself and put them on like a list that gets filtered, I still think it wouldn't be too hard.
I have to collect a pile of different slang and profanity words. Give me your worst. What's the worst word you can think of? And then just start writing them all down.
Oh man, we'll have to I don't know. I have the beep for the podcast, so we can bleep a bunch of stuff out right now. I can just put it in. You don't even have to say it. I'll just put some bleeps in, and they'll think you're saying it. Yeah, we want to make sure we edit out, and you definitely don't want people saying, and yeah, they probably shouldn't say either. There, I'll put some bleeps in. It'll sound great.
I don't know. I know some some people that have a whole lot of slang in their typical dialogue, so I'm gonna just ask them.
Yeah, I definitely need to get like our end user license agreement and stuff from the lawyer. I probably should email them soon and get that started on. I've just been kind of hesitant because we don't know all of the server functionality yet, so they do need to know some of that stuff. So I might set up a meeting with them, and then if you're available, we could jump on. But that's something we need to address as well. That'll deal with all the, nobody reads it, but it'll say like bypassing the profanity filter is not allowed.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who has, but I've never read one, so I'm not sure what they even say. I know that they restrict you from doing certain things, and if you bypass it, then you get in trouble, banned, whatever. But I never really know what it actually says. It's like, we have permission to collect your data, or we have permission to ban you at any moment.
Yeah, the collecting your data thing would actually be part of the privacy policy. So they're always going to have, you're going to have your end user license agreement and your privacy policy. And that'll cover all that stuff that you're allowed to do and not allowed to do, and then what we're allowed to copy or to collect from players, which I think is just going to be their emails so that we can have login, like so that we can have accounts, and then it's just going to be the data that they create playing the game. I don't think there's any reason to collect anything else from them.
Yeah, probably don't need anything else. Not sure why we would need something. Oh, give me like the first name of your firstborn child. I need it for this game.
I need your account numbers for all your bank accounts and the last 4 of your social security number, please. No, I think that's all going to be like, I want to collect as little as possible, because if somebody does hack you, like, we don't need to have a bunch of stuff that they're like, that we're keeping for no reason. We just want people to play the game and collect loot, and there's not really any reason to do anything else.
And if a game was asking me for like my social security, I don't think I would be playing the game.
Yeah,
I don't know why you would need it.
Yeah, I think it could collect like IP addresses for reasons, like maybe for like banning players and stuff, that don't follow the end user license agreement or something, so that you can like block them by their IP or something. I'm not sure. I think the lawyer knows all that stuff, and that's why we need to talk to them.
Yeah, I want to say the system itself knows your general location. Like, it won't pinpoint your house, but it'll pinpoint your state, town, or closest.
Yeah,
town.
because I think that shows up like on your, as part of your IP address, right?
Yeah. So since it has the IP, it has like general location data.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to put that on my list to get done. I kind of have a to-do list that's like the Steam page as well. I need to probably get in on that and make sure that we have everything.
Oh yeah, not sure if the pictures are on it, but I'll say it's getting there.
Yeah, I need to load in all the art because Ben made it and I haven't loaded it in yet. And then I think the last thing we need really is a trailer. Like, that's the last big thing. So once we get that done, we might be ready to launch our Steam page.
It does.
That's pretty exciting.
It does remind me of something kind of small, but I remember he did kind of redo the design, or I guess the line work of the glove.
Yeah.
Which did lead to the game logo getting updated just a little bit. It has the updated line work.
Yeah, because the glove was the first thing that Ben drew, I think, other than maybe the player character. And then as we added more mobs, the style changed just a little bit. Basically, it got like thicker lines. And then whenever, at some point, when we added the glove as the companion for the supporter pack, then it was real obvious that the glove was kind of like an outdated line style. So we got that updated now. He doesn't look so out of place.
And it was interesting because it's like there was always something odd about it that I never noticed what it was until somebody mentioned it was the line work on him compared to everything else.
Yeah, I actually just equipped him as my companion in game. Oh yeah, he looks so much better now. Yeah, he doesn't look so out of place. That's really good. I guess since we're talking about artifacts and companions, the one other thing I had on the list to kind of talk about, I guess, for players that are interested. We had Ben draw a couple more artifacts, and then he's going to do a couple more companions as well. And when the game launches, we're just going to have the one artifact and the one companion that are available in the shop, and then I guess we'll have the Glub artifact and Glub companion that are available as part of the supporter pack. But then after we launch and get some people playing, I want to add, like, every 2 weeks, I think I want there to be like a new artifact, a new companion, to kind of mix things up and give people something to collect. So Ben's kind of started in on the artwork for those to kind of get ahead, so that whenever we launch, we're not like scrambling the first 2 weeks to try and get an update.
Some prior preparation for new loot's always good. I kind of like the idea of cycling new artifacts and companions like that, because especially if one of them's not as good, you don't have to wait for a very long time for a new one to appear.
Yeah, I'm thinking they'll, like, as we add a new one, it'll maybe be in the shop for like a few days, and then it'll go into like the rotation, and then they'll switch every day or whatever, and then when we add a new one, it'll kind of hang out there for a couple days and then go into the rotation as well. I also was thinking about it, and we have the supporter pack Glub. I'm not sure what we're gonna do, because Glubby is kind of a unique companion that gives a unique ability, where he lets you increase your block when you're hit by an enemy. So every time you get hit by an enemy, he lets your block go up a little bit. And I was thinking about, like, I definitely want Glubby to be exclusive to the supporter pack. So if you don't get Glubby right at the beginning, when he's available, he is going to be like limited edition, not coming back very easily. If he does, it's going to be like a special event or something. But I'm wondering if we'll eventually need to add like a functionality where it's a similar ability, because like as we gain new players, if he's only available for the first 3 months and then he ends up being like, the best companion in the meta or something like that, then you have to like add, you'd still want people to be able to have that functionality, but like maybe like reskin them to something else. Just something I was like thinking about.
I know a game's done that before, where they had like this exclusive support pack. You get it at the initial start of the game, I think it was like its first year, or you never get it. And years later, they added the alternate version of it, where it wasn't exactly it, but it was almost the same thing. So that way those who never got the original, they still can't, but there was an alternative option.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about too. Like, obviously you're buying the supporter pack for the cosmetic. It's the look is the main thing. That's why the Toxic Tendrils and Glubby, they're an artifact and companion, so they have to have some functionality as an artifact and companion. But I tried to make them so they weren't like gonna be like broken where like you had to have them. But if they end up being like good, then we can definitely like add a less cool looking cosmetic version of them, but like the same functionality or something similar.
Could add instead of Glubby, you can have Blubby, and just have it have like an increased amount of block given at a reduced chance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good idea. Blub. We do have the Glub and the Blub. I wasn't really planning on making all of the mobs into companions, but it almost seems like silly not to, since we have all of their like art and animations.
Yeah, I feel like to a degree some of them can be used. I want to say certain ones would look a little awkward as a pet.
Like who?
I think the snake might be pushing it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, there's just something about that snake.
Yeah, the snake's pretty intense.
Maybe and I'd be more surprised if this became a companion. If one of the bosses was a companion.
Oh man, a boss companion. Yeah, that would be pretty extreme. Yeah, for the most part, I think companions are gonna be like little dudes.
Yeah, because the glove itself is like it's a small little creature, and I feel like its appearance it almost looks like it could be a companion because it doesn't look like a very evil creature. It kind of just looks dumb. Like it looks like it's an idiot.
Yeah, he definitely became like the mascot of the game, being the icon and stuff. But yeah, we kind of talked about that last podcast where it's like weird that it seems like people in the town like them, but also like you're just killing them all the time.
Yeah, they appreciate the glove, but they want it dead.
Yeah, I try not to think about the logistics of actually fighting these monsters, because if this was real life, they're technically animals that live in this obelisk.
You know, a lot of them are animals, so it makes you the bad guy.
Yeah, they're evil though. They're evil animals.
I mean, if I was next to a lion, it'd be pretty evil to me, but they're not typically evil animals.
They're corrupted by the dark energy of the obelisk, right?
I guess, yeah. That does make them a bit more evil. Just lock the sewers. If they can't get out of the sewer, they can't fight back.
They come out of the toilets, though, remember?
Isn't that just the slimes?
Oh, yeah.
Unless you start seeing the rats jump out of the toilets, then you have problems.
Oh, yeah, the rats could probably make it out of the toilets. That's why they need all these adventurers.
To keep their toilets clean.
At least free of pests.
I don't know. If you get into the lore of everything, I feel like when it comes to the breach, you might just be a person invading a swamp.
Yeah, I think a lot of games are like this, where it's maybe you don't think about it too much.
You start to question: are you actually the good guy in this situation?
There's always some ambiguity, I think, between good and evil.
I'll just say it takes place too far back in the past. They didn't know the difference between good and evil.
No, I think the breach is also part of the obelisk. You know, like you are going to a swamp, but I still think that the boss and stuff there is corrupted by the obelisk.
Right, so they're also evil creatures.
At least that's how I see it in the lore. Yeah, they're like, because like if you go to the swamp, like yeah, you're getting attacked by snacks and moes and snappingtons and all that, but there's probably like normal animals in the swamp. But these are like the corrupted ones that are like attacking things. They're invasive species, right?
Now you got me thinking. You could have like this would add on to a whole other pile of work. Have like smaller versions of them that look innocent, like an innocent little snake slithering about the swamp.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously we don't have the budget to animate all that, but like that's kind of the idea. I mean, that's the idea with like having the puke rat, but then also having pipsqueak.
Oh, yeah, it's like you got one of the regular rats to be your friend.
Right. And then you have the zombie rats that are corrupted by the slime that you have to fight to get loot. So that in-depth discussion of the what am I trying to say?
The lore, why we fight?
The lore, or the
power of the obelisk.
What am I trying to think of? The good and evil discussion
Yin and
between
the yang of the enemies.
Yeah. But that all aside, if you don't have anything else, I think I'm gonna wrap up this episode, which we thought, what are we gonna talk about for this podcast? And now it's been a half hour of recording, and we've done it.
That's true. Always manages somehow.
Yeah, they always end up being way longer than I think they're gonna be, and also like a lot of podcasts are like way longer than ours. I try to keep ours under 30 minutes so that it's actually listenable.
Oh yeah, you have to like sit there and listen for an hour or longer. Then you're just watching a movie.
Yeah,
or listening to a movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And speaking of that, if you've listened the whole way through this podcast, thank you so much for your interest in our game. We appreciate you hanging out. don't forget to go to knobcat.com, find the link to our Discord, join us on Discord. That's where you can ask us questions and see, any updates or videos that we put out. And that's going to be the first place that we look for whenever we decide to start opening up to testing and stuff once servers are finished. So keep that in mind. And also, we have our social media that Brittany's running now, and there's been a lot of cool updates on there. So those are both Twitter and Instagram. They're both at Dungeons Obelisk. And I think that's it. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
See you later.